I faithfully appreciate the effort by the Human Rights Council to bring the justice for the victims' peace resolution and the humanitarian aid, where Sudanese people being affected by the war, and particularly in Darmasara people since 2003 and elsewhere around the world. Since April 15, 2023, the Rapid Support Forces caused the brutal humanitarian crisis in the human history. Children had been killed, kidnapped, and the most heinous crime committed by the RSF in 21st century. Over 800,000 Sudanese refugees live in refugees camp in Eastern Chad, region already affected by the poverty, lack of infrastructure, and food insecurity. Many of these children have been traumatized and unsupported mentally because of what happened to them during the attack in different parts of Sudan. Since the violence committed by the RSF Rapid Support against the children, they often suffer from the condition in the refugees camp is difficult, which with the limited access to the sanitation and food. Elderly Sudanese refugees are another vulnerable groups in refugees camp Eastern Chad. They are often the most neglected in humanitarian effort, despite their attended vulnerability. Many of them have chronic health problems that require regular medical care, but the access to health service is extremely limited. In addition, the elderly suffer from the malnutrition as they are unable to participate fully in income-generating activities or in physical labor required to obtain supplementary food ration. In behalf of my childhood background that I experienced and affected by the war since 2003, it is not easy for a child to survive without parents within not enough support. The importance of the level of suffering for child that affected by the war, no one will understand their suffer if you did not went through this experience. Personally, I went to this situation. Today, I am very sad from the situation of my country, Sudan. Life in refugees camp can be particularly difficult for the elderly who have lost their social and family support network as the result of conflict and forced displacement. Social isolation, lack of proper care, and the food insecurity make the situation even more difficult. What's more, in many cases, the elderly have to look after their grandchildren or the young family members, adding to their burden. The situation in Chad is very worrying, with the food insecurity affecting all the new camps and at least 5 elderly people having died as a result of famine. The Rapid Support Force are committed crime against the Masalit population and buried alive and flourishing with their dead bodies in Al-Genève. So here I hit the alarm. The replacement of the Masalit population has already started on their land. As the Human Rights Watch mentioned on their report, Masalit people, they may not go back to their land. We call on to the international NGOs with their partners to continue to do more effort to provide the urgent need, food, medication, and shelters. The need of the children rights from the psychology support and provide them a good education and the security must be better taken into account in the humanitarian aid program. Increased support is needed to improve access to education, healthcare, food resources to ensure a better and more stable future for those vulnerable populations in Sudan and around the neighbor countries. It is essential to strengthen offer long-term solution, including resettlement, local integration, and a voluntary return in safety and dignified condition. We call on the United Nations to impose sanctions on the countries that support RSF. We call on the international community to take more responsibility to put a pressure on the countries who support the RSF terrorist group to stop arming and start to mediate to bring the peace and resolution for all Sudanese people. Thank you very much.